psyche is infinitely complex, which means new research comes out every day that helps illuminate why we're the way we are. And while some psychological studies provide us with fairly banal psychology facts, for example, one University of Rochester study confirmed that, get ready for it, people were happier on the weekend, others are truly enlightening. Herein, we've rounded up 10 interesting psychology facts that explain human nature. Before moving on with the video, make sure to subscribe for more amazing content. I publish new content every day. Fact number 1. We aren't as good at multitasking as we think we are. Research published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology shows that even when you think you're doing two things at once, what you're actually doing is switching quickly between the two tasks. You're still focusing on one at a time. No wonder it's so hard to listen to your partner while scrolling through Instagram. Fact number 2. Beginnings and ends are easier to remember than middles. When people are asked to recall items from a list, they're most likely to think of things from the very end, or from the very beginning, found one study published in Frontiers of Human Neuroscience. The middle gets muddled, which could also play into why you remember your boss wrapping up her presentation, but not so much about the middle. Fact number 3. It takes 5 positive things to outweigh a single negative thing. Our brains have something called a negativity bias that makes us remember bad news more than good, which is why you quickly forget that your coworker complimented your presentation but keep dwelling on the fact that a kid at the bus stop insulted your shoes. To feel balanced, we need at least a 5-to-1 ration of good to bad in our lives. Fact number 4. Food tastes better when someone else makes it. Ever wonder why that sandwich from the takeout place down the street tastes better than the ones you make at home, even if you use the same ingredients? One study published in the journal Science found that when you make yourself a meal, you're around it so long that it feels less exciting by the time you actually dig in, and that, subsequently, decreases your enjoyment. Fact number 5. We'd rather know something bad is coming than not know what to expect. Researchers who published their work in the journal Nature have found that it's less stressful to know something negative is about to happen, e.g., there's no chance we'll get to a meeting on time, than when we don't know how things will work out, e.g., we might be on time after all. That's because the part of our brain that predicts consequences, whether good or bad, is most active when it doesn't know what to expect. If stepping on the gas will help us beat traffic, we'll go through that stress instead of just accepting that we'll have to come up with a decent excuse when, not if we're late. Fact number 6. Being lonely is bad for our health. Researchers found that the fewer friends a person has, the higher levels of the blood-clotting protein fibrinogen. The effect was so strong that having 15 friends instead of 25 was just as bad as smoking. Fact number 7. You're programmed to love the music you listened to in high school the most. The music we like gives us a hit of dopamine and other feel-good chemicals, and that's even stronger when we're young because our brains are developing. From around age 12 to 22, everything feels more important, so we tend to emphasize those years the most and hang on to those musical memories. Researchers have uncovered evidence that suggests our brains bind us to the music we heard as teenagers more tightly than anything we'll hear as adults. A connection that doesn't weaken as we age, writes Mark Joseph Stern for Slate. Fact number 8. You remember things better if you've been tested on them. Sorry, kids. One of the most useful psychology facts is that testing really does work. One study published in the journal Psychological Science found that people are more likely to store information in their long-term memory if they've been tested on the information, the more, the better, than if they just study and don't need to remember it right away. Fact number 9. Putting information in bite-sized pieces helps us remember. Your short-term memory can only hold onto so much information at a time unless you try one of the simple ways to improve your memory, which is why you use chunking to remember long numbers. For instance, if you try to memorize this number, 90,655,372, you probably naturally thought something like 906,553,72. Fact number 10. Memories are more like pieced together pictures than accurate snapshots. Even people with the best memories in the world can have false memories. The brain generally remembers the gist of what happens, then fills in the rest, sometimes inaccurately, which explains why you insist your wife was with you at a party 6 years ago, even though she's adamant she wasn't.